Hey, Dee here, how are ya? And today's vlog is about being overwhelmed rather than underwhelmed. A lot of my coachees will come to me and say, too much to do, too much on, I'm feeling totally overwhelmed. My response is, woohoo, delighted. And I literally am, because if you're overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you have too much to do and it's all sort of all over the place, well, actually you're outside your comfort zone and you're doing something new, and I think that's to be applauded. When we're how often do we underwhelm ourselves? I would hope not too often. If I could choose between both, I would take overwhelmed any day of the week. Overwhelm is a sign to me that you are making positive, striving changes in your life or in your business. Okay, it maybe could be a little bit better organized. Maybe you should be delegating. Maybe you should be getting some more rest and taking care of yourself. But overwhelmed any day of the week is better than underwhelmed. And I get overwhelmed, I won't say all the time, but a couple of times, and I get overwhelmed too. And I have a couple of very simple techniques that work for me every single time. Now, firstly, you need to know when you're getting overwhelmed. What sets you off? What's the trigger that sends you into a tailspin? Now, for me, if I'm not getting enough rest, if I'm putting in too many hours, and if I allow my things to get a little bit too disorganized, so my task lists become 50 rather than 10, that's a sign that I'm getting into overwhelm. I also get a little tick on the side of my eyebrow. That's when I'm really in for trouble and I need to go and take a holiday. But what I do then is I take a step back. I go into big picture mode and I remind myself, why am I here? What am I doing? What's the goal? I go back to for those of you in the detox, my success blueprint, to remind myself, why am I working so hard? There was a reason for all of this chaos. And I know, because I want to build a successful business that gives me a life that I love with my family and friends. And that already makes me feel good to remind myself of that. And then I take things one step at a time and I make them simple. So rather than that checklist of 50 things that needs to be done, I break it down, not more than 10, and ideally on a good day, not more than 5 things, so that I can start to look at what are the important things, because certainly all of that 50 don't need to be done right now, today. They're not all high priority. So get your list as short as you possibly can. Prioritize what you need to pay attention to, and what is the one thing that you could do today that would lead you to be feeling less whelmed, less overwhelmed. And there'll be one thing, if you can take it off the list, you can breathe and everything is okay. So beware of what your triggers are for getting overwhelmed. Better that you don't get there, but if you do start feeling overwhelmed, step back, take a breath, look at the big picture, keep it simple, and shorten that task list.